Hello, beautiful friends. Hello, hello, hello. So I'm really excited about today's chat. We're going to be talking about crystals. We're going to dig into like how they form, the different shapes they come in, or I shouldn't say that, the different shapes that they are formed as. We're going to get into crystal shapes another time because that's a whole other thing. Like the environment that they're created in, and like down to the scientific nuts and bolts to how they work, why they work with our bodies, and so on. And then I do have, I've got a bunch of pieces ready. So I'm going to show you guys some of the crystal pendants that I have ready. I've got lots of shungite pieces ready. So if you don't know what shungite is all about, please do head over to gemstormrelevation.com and read the blog about shungite, because it is really, 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 really important, especially right now. Go read it so you can find out why. Find out why it's so important right now. So I'm sorry, I'm just going to quickly share this video into the Be the Light group. If you're not in there, make sure you get over there too. We're going to start doing some exercises there, especially from some of the Gabby Bernstein stuff. Like I got her miracles now that I really want to get started with you guys over there, just to get things moving in that group again. But I'm really excited about today's chat. It's going to be a little bit scientific. It might be a little bit boring, but I know that there's people out there that are deeply analytical, and I can almost bet that those people that are so deeply analytical, I can almost guarantee you're a life path 7, but that's numerology. We'll talk about that another time too. All right, so it looks like everything is good here. I'm trying to use an old phone to get it to share, but it's not working, so I'm not going to worry about it. Let's just get into the chat. So, crystals. So first off, what is a crystal? How do we determine what is a crystal, what is a rock, etc.? So just to start off, I just want to say, for me personally, I've always had a connection to crystals. I never really understood what it was, but I was always drawn to like rocks and other things. I used to love making jewelry with beads and etc. And funny now how it's coming back to me. But I've always had that draw, and I've always had that pull. So like I knew that there was something more to crystals. And for me, I have a blind faith in crystals, like absolutely 100% a blind faith. But I know that there are people out there that want to know more, like how it actually works, why it works. So first, let's start off with identifying what a crystal is. So the universally accepted definition of a crystal is a solid body with a geometrically regular shape. So we're going to learn about what that means, okay? So don't run away. Don't run away, because we're going to get into what all of that means, okay? So a crystal, or a crystalline solid, is a solid material whose constituents, so such as their atoms, the molecules, and the ions, are all arranged in a highly ordered and organized microscopic structure, forming a crystal lattice that extends in all directions. So this includes not only the sparkly gemstones, but also your semi-precious stones, such as the agates, amber, amethyst, jade, jasper, so many other kinds, and even some rocks. There's even some rocks that have a crystalline structure as well. So now, how do they form? How do crystals actually form? So it's actually like a pretty volatile situation that they're in. We need like magma to start out with. So we need that stuff from the center of the earth to start getting up into some pockets. So these pockets are called a magma chamber. So it produces a hot spot in the earth's mantle. So as this magma moves towards the surface, the earth's surface, it crystallizes to form a young, hot, igneous rock formation. So the heat from these rocks, it dries the groundwater towards the surface. So as this water is cooling, it's actually releasing ions. So it's precipitating ions. So essentially, like as the water is evaporating, it is creating an ion that is turning itself into a crystal. So as the water cools and the ions precipitate out as mineral crystals, so including quartz. So quartz is like it's silicon and oxygen. Feldspar is potassium, aluminum, silicon, and oxygen. And galena is from lead and sulfur. So the crystal is really going to depend on the minerals and the ions and the atoms that are in that atmosphere when it's being created. Because it's going to form together, and depending on what it is that forms together is going to depend on the crystal that it's going to produce or the mineral that it's going to produce. And that is also going to dictate how it is going to form into certain shapes. So for example, quartz is always going to grow like this. It's going to grow in a point. It's got a hexagon, it's got 6 sides, it's got a point at the top, and it's got a point at the bottom. Of course, depending on exactly like where it's like, hold on, let me grab my other quartz. I meant to grab this one. So like just depending on where it is in its development is going to depend on if it's got the points on both sides. So like this quartz piece, for example, this one isn't like fully developed, but it's got this one big point that's coming out of it. And then you can see all sorts of little other ones. All of these have 6 sides with a point. That's the way that quartz, that's how those ions organize themselves to make that shape. Okay, and then galena shapes itself into cubes. So again, it's just because of the atoms that come together and how they are formed. I unfortunately don't have any cubes to show you. That would have been pretty cool. But anyway, what causes it to grow in these shapes again and again? So part of the answer lies in the atoms. Every crystal's atoms are arranged in a highly organized repeating pattern. So this pattern is a defining feature of a crystal, and it isn't restricted to minerals. So you can actually find these structures inside of sand, ice, sugar, chocolate, ceramics, metals, DNA, and even some liquids such as water has crystalline structures. So each crystalline material's atomic arrangement falls into one of 6 different families. So we're either going to have a cubic, a tetragonal, an orthombic, monoclinic, triclinic, and hexagonal. So given the appropriate conditions, crystals will grow into the geometric shapes that reflect the arrangement of their atoms. So that's what I already had mentioned, right? So take the galena that has the cube structure. So it's composed of lead and sulfur. So if we were to look at lead and sulfur atoms, you would see that the lead atoms, let's say, are this big, while the sulfur atoms are this big. So what's happening is the bigger atoms are like arranging itself all like so that it creates a square, and then the smaller atoms are fitting in between so that it actually creates a cube. It can stack itself up and create a cube, right? So then these structures will reflect the outside appearance. So as mentioned, the quartz has the hexagonal structure because its atoms are actually arranged in interlocking pyramids. So that's how it creates that shape. So now let's get into how they can work. So now we know that there is a crystalline structure in our own DNA, that there's crystalline structure in water, and we are 56% water. So already, like, we can connect with that because we have similar crystalline structures in our own bodies, right? So, and we can also agree that everything is made of energy. Everything has an energy field, like the plants. It doesn't even have to be a living item. Like, it doesn't have to be a living thing. Everything produces its own energy. Okay. And that can also be referred to as a vibration or a frequency. It can all be kind of considered the same thing. So we all as humans have a biofield, so an energy field. Our DNA has crystalline structures, and the water within our body has crystalline structures. So therefore we can connect to the crystalline structures inside of crystals, and that's how that they can produce different properties that can assist you, whether that be in the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, or the spiritual body, because it can connect to all of that. It's really super cool. So yeah, crystals have can serve different purposes because of the crystalline structure and because of the different atoms that are in it. It's all going to react to our systems differently. And that's how it can target certain areas. So at the simplest level, of how crystals work, if you don't want to see it any other way, if you don't want to look at it from an energy standpoint, because that's just not something you believe in, which is fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, of course. So the very simplest level, many crystals contain traces of therapeutic minerals that can pass across the skin barrier, and bring like physiological changes. So for instance, like carnelian is known for inflammation. It's known to help arthritis. So the minerals that are inside of that crystal can break the skin barrier, and that's how it can help you, is because those minerals are being absorbed by your body. And that's if you don't want to look at it any other way. If you are open-minded and you do look at things from an energetic standpoint as well, then it just connects with your body in a way of something that it needs. So the crystalline structure within our body perhaps is just missing something, or there's something a little bit off. The crystal can actually sense that. It can tell that where it needs to assist you the most. So no matter where the crystal is on your body, it is still able to assist you. Of course, if you have a specific pain point or a specific area with inflammation or arthritis, just take your carnelian and place it on the spot for like 10 to 20 minutes, and you will notice a change. Yeah, so I have this really, really well detailed in the blog, but I only made a few notes to come on here and talk about, because I didn't want to bore you too much with the details of it. And if you are interested in learning a little bit more in how exactly it works, then please do go ahead and check out gemstormrelevation.com and check out the blog that says how crystals work. So what I want to get into though is how to choose your crystals, because there's so many crystals out there. How do we make decisions? Actually, sorry, before we get into that, there was one other thing that I wanted to mention. Sometimes crystals are created in such environments that they don't necessarily have space to grow the way that they need to. So for instance, turquoise actually doesn't grow in a specific shape, and it's never the same. That's just because of the molecular makeup of the turquoise. Even if it were to have space, it still doesn't have a specific structure, but it does have specific structures within it because of its atoms, ions, etc. But then we have octahedrons. Okay, this is one of the shapes that it can form into as well. And every shape does have a different property on how it can help more specifically, but that's going to be a video that we'll do for another day. Hey, Jen. And then, so what I was talking about, when sometimes crystals don't have the appropriate amount of space to grow, if they don't, if there's a bunch of minerals that are kind of coming together and they're trying to form their shapes, they're trying to make their geometrical patterns, but for some reason they just can't because there's just not enough room there for it to grow properly, then this is how we get mixed crystals. So you might find yourself looking at like a chrysocolla turquoise mix or a chrysocolla malachite mix. That's just because the environment that it grew in, it didn't have enough room to fully expand into the way that it needed to. So then it becomes a multi-crystal. Then it's going to have properties of both of those that are going to assist you. So to give you an example of that, I have here, this is quartz with black tourmaline inclusions, right? So this is a piece of quartz that had grown, but there was also tourmaline that was trying to develop as well. And what happened was there just wasn't enough room for both of them. So they merged together and we have these just little pieces of tourmaline that are inside of it. So this is what tourmaline typically looks like. So it is very rigid and it does have like these singular points that kind of just melts all together in one. Like I can easily break that apart if I wanted to, but I don't. But that's just these little like inclusions that are in here. So I thought that was really cool. And then another example of that is this. So this is actually considered either chevron amethyst or dogtooth amethyst, depending on what you follow, what you believe. But this is just amethyst and quartz. Like this is how it's come together, and the environment that it was in, it created like these veins of quartz that make it look like a chevron or a dog's tooth. So that's pretty cool. And then when it comes to other shapes, we obviously have some shapes that are manufactured. So like Tiger's eye does not grow in pyramids. That is not their crystalline structure. But we can take crystals and we can put them into the structures that are going to help us, because just to give you an example of different shapes. So for pyramids, what happens with the pyramids is everything is kind of entered through the top point and exited through the top point. So if you are using it for something specific, then you can point it so you have the energy directed to wherever you want it to go. So let's say you're having some issues with your solar plexus chakra, because this is the one that it's associated to. You can, if you want to be putting good energy in, you do clockwise over your solar plexus. If you're looking to get rid of some energy from there, then you want to do counterclockwise over your solar plexus. Then we have the sphere shape, which just radiates energy in every single direction. And then we have the hearts. The hearts are kind of the same as the spheres. They do like radiate energy all throughout it. But that's a topic that we'll talk about for another day. But I just wanted to show you guys those examples. Oh, thank you for saying my eyes are pretty. I appreciate that. So how do you choose your crystals? So of course, depending on what you have going on in your life is going to depend on the crystal that you want. If you are specifically looking for certain things. Now, there is such a thing as being called to your crystals. So I'm going to get into that into just a minute. But if you are having particular ailments, illness, anything like that, you can always look up which crystals is going to be best suited to assist you with that. Okay, but then we get callings from our crystals. So my very first calling to a crystal was actually... Hold on one sec. Oh, I was just trying to like quickly reach it, but then everything started falling. So the very first crystal that I had ever gotten a real like tug to, like that I absolutely needed to have that. I had to have it. Like there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I just had to have my hands on a piece. So I like looked and looked, because it's a very rare stone. It can only be found in the Dominican Republic. It's the only place that has an environment that can create this kind of crystal. Just because of the environment and the ions and the atoms that are included with it, right? But this is Larimar. And to me, like this just looks like, well, let's see if I can just block some of that light. And that like literally looks like the bottom, like when you look down in crystal clear water and you can see the reflection of the sun, and it creates all of these really cool like veins, all these little cool like spots. It looks like water rippled, like as you're looking at it through the water and the sand. Like that's what it looks like. And when I put my hand on my first piece of Larimar, it just felt so calming, and it felt so good. And the beautiful thing about it is when we are called to crystals, it's because like crystals actually do know what we need, even if we don't understand it. So that's like probably one of the more metaphysical things that I would talk about when it comes to crystals, is that like there truly is a calling. And when you do touch that piece that you have a calling to, it just feels so good. It feels so calm. It feels happy. And you just get this sense like you're safe. Like you've just gotten like this big safety bubble from the universe, or you just got like this big energetic hug that you need from the universe. And it's just so beautiful. So I do encourage you to use crystals in a way that is going to help you with your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual bodies. But also really look at the crystals too, and like see what you're being called to, see what it is that is kind of pulling at you. Like you might see a picture of a crystal, or you might be in a store and you see this certain crystal and you just can't stop thinking about it, and you keep going around and around, but you keep seeing that crystal. Like no matter how many times you're walking around this store, or no matter how many pictures you're looking at, you just keep wanting to come back to that one. That's because you are called to it. There is something on some level within somebody that is telling you that you need this crystal, even if you don't understand why. And if you were to look up the properties of the crystal and just be like, well, that doesn't really make sense for me, there is some level that needs it. Like think of crystals as having their own little beings inside of it, and they are always looking out, and they're always trying to like find their person, because every crystal has a person that it is here, that it is meant to help while it's here. So I just thought that that was really, really, that's my feelings on crystals, and it's just so beautiful. And I hope that you will take a look around and like see what you get called to, see what you get pulled to. And if there is something in particular that you're looking for, please do reach out to me. I have some amazing connections, can get some really good pieces for decent prices. So just let me know if there is something that you've been looking at. All right, so we are all done talking about those crystals. Again, if you want more in-depth information, the blog that I wrote was really, really detailed and really good. So I highly recommend starting there. But I want to just show you guys the pendants that are going to be putting up in the shop a little bit later today, so that you guys can get first dibs, of course. So if you see anything here that you like, just send me a message and let me know before I get it posted. Otherwise, when it's posted, then you can just leave me a message through there. But up first, I've got this beautiful rose quartz heart. And as you can see, hopefully you can see anyway, like it's just got all of these really, really beautiful like veins and cracks in it, but they're not like actual physical cracks. You can just see how it was developed, like how it came together, and it's just got all these beautiful veins in it. It's just so pretty. I don't think this one has any flashes. Like sometimes when they're like that, they will have rainbow flashes if they're not crystal clear. But I'm not noticing any, but it's a very beautiful piece, and it's made with a non-tarnished silver. And then of course all the pendants come with one of these necklaces for free, or you can upgrade to leather rope that I just double slip knot on the ends, and then you can just put it right over your head, and then you don't have to worry about a clasp. So if you would rather wear your jewelry while you're sleeping, if you have a certain thing that is helping you with sleep, then you can use this one. It doesn't have any clasp. It's not going to get all caught up in your hair or your pillowcase or on a thread or anything like that. I'm going to do the shungite pieces last, I think. Yeah, because I got a lot of them. I got a lot of shungite pieces. Up next is the lapis lazuli heart. So lapis lazuli is a really great self-expression stone. It is more so for your third eye chakra, so really helping your intuition and just really assisting with listening to that inner guidance. But it's also really good for like speaking your deepest truth. So if there are some questions that you're having about yourself, like what it is that I really want, what is my true passion, where do I want to go from here, you can really reach to the lapis lazuli for that. Then I have some chevron amethyst or dogtooth amethyst, however you want to look at it. This one's really fun because it's a reversible pendant. You can wear it either way. It doesn't matter. It's just whichever side you like most. Like this one's got a nice deep chevron, while this one has like a smaller one. It has more of the light purple qualities of the amethyst, right? Really, really nice. Oh, I'm really happy about this one. So I've been trying to get my hands on labradorite for a little while now. It's a little bit expensive, but I love how it looks. I love the labradorite flash. It's just so beautiful, and it's just so classic, and it's just so iconic. Like it's such a beautiful protection stone for personal protection, and so many other things. There will be like a little info card that'll be posted with all of the sale items, but this is the labradorite that I've got. So you can see these cool flashes of like this yellow and this beautiful like light to deep blue, and then I paired it with just a little lapis lazuli bead up here as well to make just a little beautiful flower. This is probably, I would have to say, one of my favorite one of my favorites that I have made so far. It's just really pretty, and I did a couple of new weaving techniques as well. This one isn't exactly reversible, but it is a little bit flashy on the other side as well, and it's not too disturbed, so I mean you could use it either way if you really wanted to. All right, and then next I've got gold sheen obsidian. All right, so it looks black for the most part, but depending on where you see it in the light, it's got this gorgeous like gold sparkly sheen. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful protection stone. I don't have my notes with me, but the information will be posted with the pendant, but it does have a lot of the same properties as black obsidian, but then it's got some added benefits as well, because it's gold sheen. It's not just regular obsidian. All right, so I think that's it. So now we're going to move into the shungite. So the shungite, I have a lot of it, to be honest with you, because I wanted to provide you guys with something that can assist you as energies and vibrations and frequencies are changing. You know, the energy out there is really, really heavy. There's a lot of hard things happening right now. And if you have read or watched, like if you've read the blog about the full moon or you watched my video about the full moon, you can kind of understand why this energy is happening right now. I do highly encourage you to go check out both of those. And then tomorrow there is going to be a full moon guided group meditation. Just go check out the event sections on this page and Relevate You, and click going if you would like to get the information. We got a couple gals signed up for it so far, so really, really exciting. I can't wait to do that tomorrow night. So make sure you get in on that. You really definitely want to get in on that. And it's just a $5 investment. And that's really just to compensate me for my time, really. And that's fair, right? So hopefully I'll see you there. I'd really love to. So for the shungite, this is the EMF protection. This is going to help you transmissions from technology. So your cell phones, your Wi-Fi, your power outlets, cell phone towers, radio towers, and especially with 5G coming, it's a whole new frequency. You're going to want to go check out my blog post about that on gemstormrelevation.com, because it really thoroughly explains what the frequencies are, the different frequencies that we've seen through different technologies, so 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, what those frequencies are, and the frequency that we're looking at when we get into 5G, okay? Because it's really, really different. It's huge, and it's going to be a huge shift. So you're going to want some shungite to help to protect yourself, especially your vital organs. I have linked a video on the blog post as well that shows you shungite like completely deflecting the EMF transmission with an EMF reader. It's pretty cool. So I got two sizes. I've got large, and the large is 30 and the small is 20. So here's one of them. This one's really pretty. I did like this really cute swirly, like twisted flower, I guess I would call it. Really, really pretty. And then I got like a bit of a corset weave. It's hard for it to focus here. And we got a corset weave up here. I know it's hard to see that, but the photos are pretty clear. So hopefully you'll be able to see all of that once I get it posted up. And this one here. I love how simplistic it is. I mean, it's not really reversible on these guys because the backside is not polished, right? So this is just like a one side type deal, but even with it not being polished, that doesn't really matter. It's still going to assist you the way that you need it to. Still going to protect you from EMF transmission. And then I've got this style with just the single rose swirl. What else have I got? Oh, this one was really fun to make. This one's a little bit twisty, and then I got the twisted, whoop, caught it. And then I got the twisted rose there. So you'll also notice with this shungite that it's not pure black. There are little specks of silver in it. Those specks of silver are actually pyrite. And pyrite is another protection stone. So you're going to be getting the EMF transmission protection from the shungite. And then you're also getting an energetic protection from the pyrite. So it's like, it's a 2-for-1 deal, guys, really. All right, and then I've got this style here. It's just got a short little bail on it, so it's going to hang really close to your necklace instead of down further. And then we just got like the iconic little wire weaving swirl on it. It's so pretty. And then I got it on the back as well, but again, not really reversible because the other side is not shiny. But the other really nice thing about it too, if you're having some sort of anxiety, the energy is kind of overtaking you, or it feels really, really heavy. The nice thing about these stones is that even though it's not polished on the back, you can still rub it. And you can use it like a worry stone. So you're wearing it, you can use it as a worry stone. It can help you release some anxiety that you're having as well. Especially on like more this style, because the whole back is open and you can just like rub on it. And then it just like kind of gives you that satisfaction. All right, I got one more big guy here. There we go. And then I got 2 little ones. So this is the first little guy. Kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, like a genie on bottle kind of design there. Okay, and then this, I really like this design too. It's so cute. Like, I just love it. It reminds me of like little, kind of like little bugs, I guess. But so cute. All right, so that's all I had to discuss and share today, but I do really highly encourage you to check out the information about the full moon. So you can check out the blog and or the video that I did. And then tomorrow is the guided meditation. So make sure you hop over into the events and check that out if you want to be a part of it. Or I did list a ritual as well on the blog post. So you can always just go and do your own thing. And then if you want to follow the procedure that I have written for the ritual, then you can always do that. The only thing I ask is that you do leave a comment on the website under the blog. Let me know how it went if you did the ritual. I would love to hear the feedback on anything that you would like to share. I mean, I personally would like to hear everything, like your experience, the emotions, like all of it, but you can take that into the Be the Light group if you'd like. Or if you're comfortable sharing those things, feel free to share that on the blog or in here. I would really appreciate it. I just love having conversations about these things and talking to people about it. Especially if it's an emotion or a feeling that you don't really understand or recognize or know what to do with. I would really love to assist with that. That's kind of my whole deal. So make sure you do reach out if you're doing those things. I would love to hear from you. All right, so have a great, great day. Check out the full moon guided meditation group event. Check out the blog post, all of it. There's so much information that I'm pumping out for you guys, just because I want you to have all of the information. All right, have a beautiful, beautiful day, and we will be talking again soon. Have a great day. Bye.